Hello and welcome to today's how-to video. What we're gonna do is we're going to change a leaky hydraulic line on the 600 AJ behind me. As we know, hydraulic lines are very susceptible to punctures and tears and breaks. Let's face it, it's the lifeblood of our machines. So we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna replace a hydraulic line today, and we're gonna show you how it's done and how easy it is to change it, maybe some tips and tricks along the way, and we're gonna get this machine back up and running and back in the field and doing what it does best. All right, you ready? Let's jump in. All right, as you can see, what we gotta do is we gotta get the engine unbolted, unpinned, so it has access to this particular leak. Your first tip is you gotta get the pin undone and move the engine for this leak. Okay, here's what's happening next. Because the machines sometimes sit too long, be prepared to have a jumper. And because this machine's type of brake is in a spot that is hard to reach, so we're gonna actually have to operate the machine, which is going to make a leak. So another tip is have a catch pan ready to go. To say the least, when you're doing this job, the leak is not going to be where you want it to be all the time. It's in the knuckle. Woo! In this case, see those two bolts right there? We got to get those undone to loosen up because they're definitely clamping on part of this destroyed line. So considering a ladder for your job, maybe even a scissor lift, maybe a 19-foot scissor lift or something like that to get into something this complicated. So that prep we talk about, needing the oil pan, the jump kit, ladder, all the proper tools, the proper line, all super important. All right, as we're prepping the line, as you see, he's getting the line prepped, I got another great tip. So if you can go by the manufacturer's actual part number and get it from, like in this case, JLG, and get the line from them, it's gonna save you some cash.
So usually every JLG hose will have its part number right there. Put it in the parts manual and it'll tell you exactly where it's routed to.
Third-party companies that'll show up on the job site when you need them, you're gonna pay for it. That convenience fee is added in to that hose. So if you can wait, order it from the manufacturer, save yourself a couple bucks. All right, talk to me. What do you know so far?
So far, I'm trying to get access to all the hoses, loosen up clamps on both ends and on the power track, depending on where the route is, where the hose is routed through. As soon as I get the coupler, I'll couple them together, and then I should go.
Oh yeah, tell everybody about that trick. That's a good trick. I like it.
So you just get a JIC, or I mean, depending on the size of the hose or the type of style of fitting, and you just get a union, and you put them both together, and you start pulling your old hose, and it feeds your new hose into place. So we found our hose right here, the one that's damaged, part number, and in this case, JLG made it kind of like a pigtail. Since it's harder to access it, the hose, the other end of the hose goes into the bottom of the lower lift cylinder, which is harder to access it. So they did a pigtail, and it's right here on one of the knuckles, so that you're able to access it better and repair it easier.
Nice. That's a win.
It grabs all the hoses and keep them in place.
So it's a clamp block is the first thing here. And you're kind of doing it blindly. We found it. There it is. That is your broken line. Oh, we speculate it's old, and when they're old, they're not as flexible, and it got bound up within the movement of the knuckle. All right, as you can see here in this line's case, it has got lots of different touch points with brackets that secure the line in place as it moves up and through the knuckle. So in order to get this line replaced, is we are loosening them up along its path so we can attach the new line and feed it all the way through, all the way to the other side. there's the new end here. It's going to reattach right up in there.
Now what I do is I attach the new one to where it goes.
Yep.
And tighten it up. Adjust the slack. Put the clamp back on. Tighten it. And then just start pulling the rest.
Along the way.
Slack adjusting is the very important progress of this. And also you don't want to be, when you're tightening your hose, you don't want to curl your hose. You want to make sure it's nice and straight and not curled up.
Gotcha.
Because if it gets curled up, then it starts rubbing in the wrong places, and your brand new hose, it's not going to last very long.
It's a good tip. I like that. Make sure the line stays true as you feed it through. All right, so here we go. He has an attachment to the new line. He's going to thread it onto the broken line as to be able to feed her all the way through. You can see. Making life so much easier. Okay, and just like that, we got the top one in. Great tip that was just explained to me was making sure that we're using proper torque tension, because you can crush it and break your fitting. That's the same with the O-rings too, so you can always over tighten and crush an O-ring. All right, so moving on, we have got more attach points that actually hold the hoses in place that we've got to loosen as we feed old hose and new hose through the knuckle and then down through the boom. Sometimes you got to loosen it a little bit more just to get that fitting through, because we've attached the old line to the new line, making life easier, but it makes it bigger as it goes through these clamps all the way through. That's the part you're talking about, making the line true, huh? So you were spinning it to get it straight. Like a garden hose that gets all spun around.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost there. We've got a little more loosening to do. Everything's been fed through the top. Now it's gonna make its way out the back here. We are almost done. Look at that. I got to help. Yeah. Oh, snap. Look at that. Love it. All right, what do we got?
We got the old hydraulic hose right here. We just wrap it around, dispose of it correctly.
That looks like a lot of tools.
Yeah, because basically you don't want to get them curled. You want to make sure it's nice and straight. You don't want them all curled up.
Don't get them curled up. Good tip. All right, so that was it. He made it look super, super easy. Just about done, right? What do we got left?
Just adjust the slack on the hoses everywhere, and tighten up the clamp, and we're all set.
I like that. What do you think the biggest tip is?
Just make sure you have the right tools wherever you're at.
Very, very good tip. You can get that hose from our website, shop.equipmentshare.com. My friend, thank you so very much. You made it look easy. Stay tuned for the next one.